Republican Congressman Connie Mack totally and completely denounced the law today. He issued a statement that said, quote, "This law of frontier justice, where law enforcement officials are required to stop anyone based on reasonable suspicion that they may be in the country illegally, is reminiscent of a time during World War II when the Gestapo in Germany stopped people on the street and asked for their papers without probable cause. It shouldn't be against the law to not have proof of citizenship on you. This is not the America I grew up in and believe in, and it's not the America I want my children to grow up in." For the record, I am not making a Nazi analogy here. I am quoting Republican Congressman Connie Mack doing that, just so you know what he said. Bob McDonnell, the very conservative Republican governor of Virginia, has also hinted at actually that exact same sentiment. He did it in a radio interview this week.
I'm concerned about the whole idea of carrying papers and always have to be able to prove your citizenship. That brings up shades of some other regimes that were not particularly helpful to democracy.
Former Arkansas governor and presidential candidate Mike Huckabee registered his displeasure with the new law as well. He did so, though, in the form of a bizarre theme park metaphor. He told the Dallas Morning News, quote, "What does concern me is that if it's not carried out and applied carefully, you could end up in the situation where people are indiscriminately stopped who are absolute citizens. America's a lot like Disney World, in that once you get a ticket, you're in. You don't have to keep showing your ticket to keep riding the rides. That's the whole point of liberty." Straddling the Republican divide on this issue are people like Senator John Cornyn of Texas, who's not exactly sticking up for the Arizona law, but he says it's been misunderstood. Quote, "I don't think it is as onerous as it's been represented." Actually, I don't think people misunderstand the Arizona law. This is one of those bills that the more you know about it, the more surprised you are about just how onerous it is. But if you want to get a sense of just how uncomfortable the position is that Republican politicians have been put in by this Arizona law, just watch this next clip. Watch this. This is Minority Whip, poor Minority Whip Eric Cantor on ABC yesterday. He's so desperate to not take a stand on the Papers, Please law either way that he basically filibusters the interview.
Are you in the Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio, Karl Rove camp that this law that Jan Brewer signed in Arizona goes too far, is unenforceable, or lots of questions around how it will be enforced? Or are you in the McCain, Kyle, Brewer camp in support of the law? Which camp are you in?
I think that's a false choice.
How is that a false choice?
Because no one is going to accept the lawlessness. First and foremost, we're a country of laws. Now, are you asking whether I think that America is a country of opportunity? Absolutely. Are we a country built on immigrants? Absolutely.
I'm asking if you agree with Marco Rubio that the law goes too far. That's what I'm asking.
Listen, I can tell you this. I am for making sure that America remains a country that stands of freedom and opportunity for everyone.
Also, puppies. I'm totally for puppies. Are you asking me about puppies? I'm so pro-puppies. How dare you insinuate that I'm not pro-pup... Oh, that's not what you're asking? Eric Cantor is very sure that he does not have to give a direct answer about the Arizona immigration law because he desperately does not want to. The thing is, every time a Republican does give a direct answer about the Papers, Please law in Arizona, the divide within the Republican Party on this gets deeper and more public. And it looks like this problem is only going to get worse. Both the problem faced by people who don't believe in presuming everyone is illegal unless they can prove otherwise, the problem of the bill itself, but also the problem for Republicans who are going to have to now continue to fight each other in public over whether we should presume everyone's illegal unless they can prove otherwise. This is a big political problem. Andrea Nill at Think Progress is reporting that legislation similar to the Arizona Papers, Please law may be brought up in at least 7 other states besides Arizona. And if Scott McInnis, the Republican frontrunner in the Colorado governor's race, wins that governor's race, you can add Colorado to the list as well. As we noted on this show last night, as a U.S. congressman in 2001, Mr. McInnis A, had a mustache, and B, argued passionately in favor of racial profiling. This week, he promised, if elected governor, that he would pursue legislation in Colorado similar to what Arizona's got, which everyone outside of Arizona who isn't a proponent of the bill admits is essentially a racial profiling bill. It's turned Arizona, that bill has turned Arizona into a civil rights pariah. That bill has turned Arizona into a huge political battleground. That bill has also apparently cleaved the Republican Party right in two. Now that the political can of worms labeled draconian immigration legislation has been opened by the great state of Arizona, expect a long, bitter, intra-Republican battle on this issue, just in time for Democrats to lead a charge, finally, for comprehensive federal immigration reform for the whole country. Wow. Stay tuned. Politics is totally different for the whole rest of the year now. This is a big deal.